Hi guys, today we're looking at subtracting mixed numbers. Yesterday we were adding, today we're subtracting, and you're going to find the same steps involved. I think subtracting is a little bit easier because you don't have to change an improper to a mixed at the end, but I'll show you what I mean. So when you're subtracting mixed numbers, you're going to see the denominators are the same again, which makes the fraction part super easy. Just like with adding mixed numbers, start with the whole number. So all you have to do is 4 minus 2 to get you started. I'm going to do the whole numbers first, and then I'm going to do the fractions. 3/5 minus 2/5 is 1/5. So not so bad. 4 3/5 minus 2 2/5 equals 2 1/5. These can get pretty complicated, and they will later in the week, and I'll show you some challenge videos on that. But for right now, it's as basic as take your whole number and subtract, take your fraction and subtract. Let's take a look at a couple of your splash math questions you're going to see. All right, so this says cross out shaded parts to represent the following subtraction sentence. They have 1 4/5. Here's 1 whole and 4/5 in blue, and they want you to subtract 2/5. So all you have to do is touch 2 of those, and that represents subtracting. Of course, the answer is what's left, which is 1 whole and 2/5. Same idea, they want you to subtract. I'm going to show you this one 2 ways. First off, 8/5 is the green pieces, and we're going to subtract 1/5. So you just cross it out, pretty easy. But you can also look at this just mathematically without that visual fraction bar there. Remember, when you subtract fractions, we did this last week, you keep that denominator the same, and you just do 8 minus 1, and 8 minus 1 is 7. The tricky thing about this is improper, and I know sometimes they're going to ask you to simplify it, and to simplify it means turn that improper into a mixed number, and there's a bunch of ways we've done it. I'm going to look at it as a division problem. 7 divided by 5. And I know 5 goes into 7 once, with 2 remainders out of 5. And that denominator stays the same. So you may have to simplify this by changing this improper answer into a mixed number. I use division as a strategy. Here's another one to take a look at. Start with those whole numbers. 2 minus 2 is 0. 2/3 minus 1/3 is 1/3. In this case, they want you to cross off 2 whole and 1/3. So there's 1 whole, 2 whole, and 1/3. And what's left? That 1/3 that we found. Here's another one. They have 1 whole and 3/4 in blue, this mixed number, and they've already crossed off 1 whole and 1/4. What's left? Well, there's 1, 2, 2/4. Right there. Now take a look at this one. We've got 7/5. We've got to take 4/5 off. 1, 2, 3, 4. We can also think of it mathematically. Just subtract those fractions. Denominator of 5, and 7 minus 4 is 3. This 3/5 is represented right here in the picture with these 3/5. Okay, no picture at all, just doing the mathematical piece. Keep that common denominator, and 5 minus 1 is 4. It is improper, so we're going to switch it to a mixed number. This time I'm going to decompose. I'm going to pull out a whole, which is 3/3. When the numerator and denominator are the same, that makes 1 whole. To make that 4/3, I need 1/3 more, because 3/3 plus 1/3 make up that 4/3. And another way to write that is 1 whole and 1/3. Here's my 1 whole, 1 whole, 1/3, 1/3. So I would be choosing this answer. All right, common denominator again. 12 minus 4 is 8. Another improper fraction. This time I'm going to use it as division. I'm going to look at it as 8 divided by 5. I know 5 goes into 8 one whole time. I know there's 3 remainders out of 5. And how I got those 3 remainders is 5 is 3 away from making 8. So if 5 goes into 8 once, that's 5 times 1. But I still have 6, 7, 8. 6, 7, 8 makes 3 more. That's my remainder. So this one should be 1 3/5. This time they left out part of the answer for you, so they did part of the work. Whole number first, 2 minus 0 is 2. Then all you have to do is 2/8 minus 1/8 is 1/8. Sorry about that. And one more to look at. I'm going to start with those whole numbers. 1 minus 1 is 0. And I can put a 0 there or leave it blank. It does not matter. And then I am going to do the fraction. 4/6 minus 3/6 is 1/6.